Welcome everybody. So here's to another stream, and some of the work that I've done on during this week was focusing on. Hey Gitish, how's it going? How's it going? Yes, there's some cutscenes, and especially this one is in the beginning. So it's kind of a semi-interactive. Marcin, hello, hello, welcome, welcome. It's a little bit of a semi-interactive type scene, but you know, you're pretty much locked into the path of the plane. The what I wanted to do, and hopefully I'll have that done by I'll definitely have that done by next week, is as I mentioned before, the path of the plane is gonna take you to three kind of drop spots where you can jump out of the plane and start the game. So right now, here's what I have. Like here's the plane, and actually, let me see if I can get it so that it shows how it goes along. And let's see. So what I have set up is a sequence, and it's actually really simple to set these up. I mean, especially if you want to do like a you know, like in my case, this flight sequence where you can have just a camera, and I literally just add the track for the plane, which is this blueprint of this plane, because you know it has like a spinning propeller and it's got like a couple of things going on. You know, there's gonna be like the actor inside. You can see like you can move your head around a little bit, and you can like you know juggle the controls. So, and then there's the spline, and this is just a regular spline that I have. Nothing complicated about that. The one thing that I just added to this is if you go to add track, and then you can use the path, and then I have you know a new binding, and then you can select whichever spline you want. So in my case, it's this spline path, and at that point, what the actor is going to do, and this is the cool part, is that it's just going to you know, right now this is the camera from inside the plane. Now let me just fix that because it looks kind of, even though I'm not going to use it, but just to show. Let me see, where is the plane? So this one. Yeah, so what I'll try and do today with this is actually when you start the game, I'll show you how I've set up my kind of going to the main menu and then loading into the game and then starting the sequence. So kind of that's my hope. Hopefully I'll get it all done. So let's see. Where was I looking? I was gonna take a look at the camera of this plane and see if I can fix it a little bit. Just to kind of give you a perspective of how the player is gonna view this. And I don't think I'm going the right way with the rotation. Let's fix that real quick. Okay, there. I hope I got the right angle. Yep. Alright, so kind of from the player's view, it'd be something alongside, like along about here. So once the sequence starts playing, and we'll take a look at, you know, kind of adjusting maybe some of the level. So here's the flight. The cool thing about the spline is that something that I didn't really know, and I was not expecting it, is that when you rotate one of these points around the axis, so not up and down or side to side, whatever follows the track is actually gonna follow it. So as you can see, the plane tilts, and I was quite afraid that it's gonna have that kind of weird. It's not gonna do the tilting like the plane would do, or I think it's not the tilting, but the roll. So, but yeah, it actually does pretty well. So here, if I was to select the spline and take this point, for example, and actually rotate it a little bit more. And there it goes. So it does a pretty nice roll, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's something that I kind of learned as I was doing it, because I've never really done a roll, or not a roll, but I've never really tried to roll the spline. I've only done it for like just regular like a biped character. So there we go. So now what I wanted to have is, in this plane, I wanted to have the player, and here it is. Here's my main character, and so like I said, you wouldn't be controlling the plane as much, but the plane does have a little bit of movement. So especially, it's totally random, but there is hopefully the music is not too loud, but there is a little like via timeline, some rotation going on. Let me see if I can go into okay, yeah, I guess there's a few errors. So hopefully, if this works. Oh, and I actually set something up that I was also going to show. The kind of the beginning of the game and how that is. But let me turn that off for a little bit. Whenever I save, it just keeps moving the plane somewhere else. I'm not sure why. Like the beginning of the spline probably. But let me go into my persistent map here. So hopefully I can show you what what the intent is for this. Let me see if it loads this level as well. I would have thought it would have. Maybe it didn't. Did I not get the right name for it? Oh yeah, surroundings. There we go. Let's try this again. Alright, I'm guessing the plane hasn't, since it hasn't started, it's still the beginning of the spline. But let's see if I can show you. So this is kind of how the inside of it looks like. Come on, move a little slower. And also there's like a little bit of audio, hopefully you can hear it. So what would happen is the controls would start to kind of jiggle back and forth a little bit, just to give you a little bit of a you know, there's like a light on the floor that's gonna start flashing, and yeah, so there's like a little bit of movement on the gauges just to make it a little bit more interactive. Yeah, so that's it. Kind of how the inside and what you're gonna see from the player perspective is gonna look like. Now let's take a look at, because what I wanted to do is also show a little bit of how the game would start. So basically, the way I have this set up, and this is how I have it set up. Maybe it's not the best way, but it works for me. And so that is, if we look at my current levels, since this is like a persistent level, I got all my levels in here, you know, like the gas station, laundromat, you know, little town, bunker, the water facility, everything else. So there's a couple of extra levels, and one of them is this one called the load bar level, which is I guess the loading bar, and the main menu level. So whenever whenever the game starts, let's save it real quick. So basically, whenever the game starts, the persistent map blueprint is being called. And in my persistent map blueprint, what I have is I have this on begin play, and I have this little flag just to help me with development. And if it's set to dev, then it just goes through and loads everything that I need to load, you know, initializing the player and so on. But if it's actually if it's real play, and I check this, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to load the main menu level. So the main menu level, let's take a look at that real quick. And actually I didn't want to simulate it, but it's still fine. Let me jump out of this. I always get confused or like when this one happened with yeah, there's like this little ellipsis here. It used to be on the button on Unreal 4. They somewhat decided to move it here for whatever reason. So when the game starts, you're prompted with the main menu level. So from here you can, you know, adjust settings and you know, what have you. But you can also start the game. And I think in the case of this, I think it might have been demo level. Alright, so at this point, when I call the demo level, it starts loading all my levels, which would have been done by the, you know, persistent map if the isDev flag is not set to on. Let's take a look at the other two levels. So let me jump back to persistent, because for whatever reason, again, a design thing that I do not understand. If you have in this window here, like the editor, this viewport window, I guess, if you have another blueprint and you click on it, everything else is gone. I'm not sure who came up with that idea, but okay. So let's take a look at the load bar level blueprint, and also actually start with the main menu, because as I said, from the persistent map I'm loading into the main menu level. So let's look at that. So main menu level. Alright, so what the main menu level does, it adds my basically my main menu, adds it to viewport, and gives me control with for the mouse cursor. Now the main menu, let's go into that real quick. So the main menu is this one here, as you can see, and what this does is whenever you click, and I believe let me take a look, I think it's on this button here, so the text level, I guess I don't have the perfect naming here, so let's take a look at what let me see, it's actually, my apologies, it's not just a text but it's a button. So let's see, where's the on clicked? So on clicked, what's going to happen is I'm getting the player controller, I'm setting the input mode to be game only, and I'm going to be calling this interface function. Well, they're the same. I'm kind of using them interchangeably. Like, unfortunately, yeah, like I said, since I work by myself, sometimes I'm not the most consistent naming thing here. So the persistent underscore map could be persistent underscore level. So I kind of use them interchangeably, map or level. Hopefully that makes sense, Gitish. Yeah, so so I'm calling this this load next streaming level, and what this one is, it's actually in let me take a look where that is at, and the load bar level. Let's see, where did I call that? That's the load level. It should have been. Oh, it's right here. So it's calling in the main menu level. It's calling this event load next streaming function because so here I'm getting the streaming level, which has been already loaded, and in that I can call this this interface function that once we go back here, you'll see that what it does, it loads my load bar level that has like the loading spinning circle or whatever you want to set up. a bar or um, and I'm starting to load that, and once that is completed, I'm unloading the main menu level, and I'm calling this function, which is a remote event. So um, within this, I can call this event name load level. And if you look at the load bar level, the load level, what that does is it's going to create this loading screen little thing. So let's take a quick look at that. It's pretty simple. Alright, so it creates this. It's got like a little spinning thing with a text block in the middle. And it's going to update the loading text. I have a little function here, so let's take a look at that real quick. So which is that simple. It's just setting it to the loading percent. It's setting the loading percentage to whatever I'm feeding in. So if we go back to look at this, so remember, first time I've created that loading screen, and now I'm starting to load all my levels. So you can see like surrounding levels. This is kind of an older version that I've had, so I need to add the newly set up levels that I have. So as you can see, they're all being loaded, and depending on the ones that I want to make visible, I'm just going to have this checked, to make visible after load. So I used to have a different setup before with a bunch of separate levels, with like each forest grid had its own little level, which in my mind kind of made sense to some extent, but I didn't really get any performance increase out of it. So in the end was like, okay, I'm going to drop this. So as you can see, after loading a couple of these, for example, like here I'm setting it to to give the player an idea that things are happening in the background. I didn't know of a better way to do it. There might be, but I don't really know if the load stream actually provides you with the data besides the fact that it's completed, that it's loaded at 10%. So you can provide that. So what I did is I did a little bit of a fake, because most gaming is about faking some things. And so as you can see, after each one of these, I'm updating that widget that's on the screen to say, okay, this has been 50%, and so on, 60%, and continue on loading the screens. So once everything is loaded, like all my levels are loaded, at that point I'm just gonna unload this level, this load bar level. Yeah, so that's the thing. There is the stuttering, and the way that I did that is what I'm doing is I'm loading all the levels, because I was running into the same thing. Like I have this setup where like for example, I'm not loading everything. I'm not gonna load like interiors, or I'm not gonna load like for example, the bunker area, which is underground, so you don't see it. You only see it once you I'm only going to load it once you go through like a transition level of like corridors, because that's a pretty busy level, so I don't want to be that to be shown. But I am loading it in the beginning. So by loading it in the beginning, I can hide it or show it. And the reason for that is, if I was calling this load stream level whenever I was getting close to that area, the issue that I was running into is this little stutter that you mentioned, Gitish. So so by loading everything and then just setting them to not be visible, setting them back to visible is actually removes that there's no more stutter. So that's why I did it this way. Hopefully it's not going to be performance impacting. I haven't noticed anything on my end. So assuming that with the modern day computer, or even even my mid-level computer, is still going to be, should be fine. So But yeah, let me fix this and we'll take a look at how that works. I'm gonna be removing a bunch of these because I don't have them anymore. So this one can go. I don't need that. I'm probably gonna be using it at some point. But with Lumen, these were kind of like a light probes that I was trying to use for bounce lighting, but Lumen takes care of that, so which is great. Alright, let's see. I have the bunker level. I have that. Let's do, I believe, the other one. I'm going to move this off the screen a little bit just so that I can tell what other levels I have. Yeah, so see, as you can see, if this one's docked here, everything else is, you can't see any of the other windows. Like, well, they get hidden for some kind of reason or other. So yeah, let's take a look. I have the map, which is again could be named better. And map is kind of the main level, the main area. So I'm gonna load that, and that could be set to 50. I don't have these grids anymore, but I do have the mansion level, so I'm gonna need that. Oh yeah, so another example would be like the interior of the mansion, which I might show. I'm gonna show how I plan on do that in a following stream, as far as you know, again with the faking faking things about when you enter a building, to me at least, it's very hard to tell what the shape of the exterior building is based on the interior, and that along with not being able to access all the areas, um, I want to do the interior as just a separate level, and I'm just gonna hide the exterior once I enter, because the exterior is gonna have a different shape than the interior. And once you enter to like through like a hallway, that could be my my transition level, so to speak. And yeah, that's definitely true, Gitish. That's my hope. Alright, so let's see. I have the barn. I don't have that anymore, so I'm gonna skip this as well. Let's see what else is here. Alright, so that one updates a little bit more. I don't have this one either, but I can add in here. I can add the water facility. Let's duplicate this, and also be let's see, which one is it next. Gas station and like the laundromat, and I can do the other ones separately. Gas station, and let's do one more of these, and this one could be laundromat. These latest ones have a more consistent naming. Alright, so let's get this in here like that. Okay, well, so this should be ready for a quick test, I would think. Let me just move this off to the side. And persistent map, let's make sure as dev is set to false. Alright, so let's take a look. So the main menu should load as is here. Now if I click on demo level, I should be getting this little message. So, and yeah, it's not covering the entire screen, so you can kind of see behind it what's happening. All right, so there's my entry sequence that's being played at the beginning of the game, and unfortunately, I think it's just the player that's being that's being funkily situated in the airplane. So let me take a quick look at that. There it is. Yeah, it's kind of rotated to the side, and it's since I need to set a different blueprint when the game starts, and so that he's looking forward. So, and also the blueprint would have his hands on the little rudder. But for now, let's try and see if I can place him to be. I mean, I'm hoping. I'm not sure why he keeps on turning to the side, to be honest. So I'm trying to set him with a different anim class, which is this plain anim class. So let's see if this is being hit to begin with as well. Though it looks like it should be, because it's rotating the prop, is doing everything else that's happening in here. So let's try this again. Okay, well that can explain some things with this plain anim. But that's not the one that I'm setting him to. Even though, so that's not being used here anyways. Alright, so let's get over this one, and now I would think this one should have, yeah, it does change the to a different anim class, which is what I would expect, but not entirely sure why he's looking to the side. Let's take a look at our down plane. Oh, maybe it could be because of this. I am doing a clamp on the camera. Whoa. Nope. Oh, maybe I'm not even getting control to the player, but to this camera here. So let's try, and I'm gonna try and delete these since I'm not gonna make use of them anyways. And I'm gonna try and make use of the player camera. Oh, I'm so used to like this thing just loading, but I'm not used to this having just a menu. So, alright, let's load here. Hey, Svinto, what's going on? Yeah. I've been doing it ever since I got back from vacation, so to speak. Oh, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Well, hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I'm trying to do these as regular as possible, and yeah, I hope to see you on the next stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. And why is that there? Let's see if we can pause this real quick and see what. What the heck happened to my to the character? Yeah, exactly. Where's the player? I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out. let's see. Whoa, what is it doing over there? Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know how you like it. And glad you stopped by, Infinitu. Take care. Yeah, what is it doing over here? I mean, it's moving along with the plane, but it's not really moving along with the plane. What is going on? Let's see, where is my plane? It's here. It is linked to it, so it's not like. Why would it be? Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily acting weird with the character model. I think it's something that has to do with and I'm gonna need to figure this out. I'm thinking it's I'm starting to think I'm not sure if it might be like collisions related or anything like that, but because the plane is not sitting in, you're not sitting inside of the plane. So let me see if I turn off collisions. I'm just thinking it's kind of, it's booting the player out of the plane, so to speak, right? And let me see, do I even have collisions on this? Oh, I have some big collision on it. Let me try and delete these since I don't really need them anyways. I'm not sure if that might help at all, but you never know. I've for whatever reason I'm hating collisions, but they're so needed, but there's so many aspects to it. All right, let's try this again and see what kind of mess. And I'm probably gonna reset this to be yeah, I was thinking of complex to simple collision, but I since I don't really need collision, I just need the player to be in one place, and yet again he's somewhere down here. Well, I guess you can walk on water. Um, yeah, even with I don't, like I said, I don't really need collision for that. But the thing I can't figure out is why does he get set all the way down here, which is kind of odd. So I'm kind of thinking also that I don't really need, because the way I had it set up before was just a skeleton. I've kind of expanded on it a little bit where I'm actually doing the main character as a child actor, which I'm kind of thinking maybe it's a little overkill. So what I might do, it might be a lot simpler this way. Let's try it because that's how I had it done before, so I'm probably just messing about and without really needing to. So I'm gonna reset these here, and instead of having like the main character, I'm gonna get a couple of its body parts, mainly the arms and the legs. So I can set the same blueprint to be well, I can set an anim blueprint for the arms, so I can see the rudder moving around, and the legs could just be in a kind of a sitting position. So I think that might be a little bit simpler to do, and I'm gonna keep this around. I might mess around with it after the stream just to see, because right now there's like one of those things that how do you do that? But just for ease of work, I'm gonna hide this, And I'm going to be adding a couple of skeletal meshes. So let's set this to be a child of that, and I'm gonna go into my main character just to see exactly which one of what I'm using for my player. So let me open that real quick. Yeah, as you can see, so the thing I just mentioned, I have these docked here in the main window, and I don't see anything else. So I have to click on persistent map to see everything else again. Who came up with that idea? I don't know. But anyways, so I'm gonna go back into, let me go to my Content Explorer and find my main character so I can get the proper arms for him. Alright, so here it is. And I have the arms. I need these to be added to here. Alright, let's see, where are they placed? Somewhere down there for whatever reason. How are you binding the player models transformed to data of the airplane model? So the airplane itself should be at 1-to-1. So it's a relative transform. If you're if you're talking about like location rotation, it would be a relative transform to the player, because it's a part of the static mesh, right? So it's a child of the static mesh, and at least that's how I'm planning on doing it. So now I have the arms. I'm gonna get the legs as well. Let me see here. The legs are these, and I guess I could have gotten the body as well. So let's go back into here, and this is gonna be skeletal mesh arms. Come on, arms, and then another one for the legs. Yeah, because it was working the way the way I had it set up before. It was working with the camera itself, and you know, the camera was pointing, and it was also limiting the view angles, so you know, it doesn't go too overboard. All right, so let's add the legs in here. And for this one, I can try and find like a sitting. Actually, I need a animation asset and sitting. Oh shoot, yeah, so this is, yeah, the thing that's kind of cool about ALS here is that on construction, I believe, let me take a look here. Where is it? Oh, it's on the parent script, so let me grab the parent for this. Let's see, construction script. Where is it setting all the nope, it's not there. Did I have it in the begin play? Why am I so lost with this one? I haven't looked at it in a while. Oh, yeah. So basically, this leader pose component, you can add a bunch of other body parts, and they will all draw off of the mesh, even though like so if they have the same skeleton, of course. But in my case, I don't have those animation retargeted to those leg skeleton. So this little node here does that cool work of, in my case, I have like a bunch of different parts. They all have the same skeleton as the ALS v4 skeleton, but the animations have not been retargeted to it. So with this, it's actually pretty easy to get that set up, and that's why I really like, even though ALS is very complex, you know, once you add new functionality, but it works out pretty good that way. So that's why I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering if in the long run it might be worth um, having the player inside of the plane. But I need to figure out why it's being placed all the way down at the bottom somehow. So um, you know, player aside, I'll probably take a look at that and try and fix it for next stream, as in setting up the main character that I have with a new blueprint, which it works, but figuring out why it's being so far off where it should be, and also setting up that blueprint. I'll show you that in the next sprint, in the next stream. And it might be beneficial if you do use ALS. So let's see, at least get this thing going for the camera, and have this camera actually look around. So let me see if I can let me see how this looks at the moment. Well, exactly, that's what I want to do, you know, like currently the camera works, but I would like to have it because what's also, hopefully by next week, what I'm gonna have in place, and I think the camera needs to be, yeah, so now you can see the player is in here, like the skeleton itself, but the camera, let me pause this real quick and eject. I think the camera is just placed a little awkward, and now that I'm thinking of this, it's probably the reason why initially the camera was like rotated at a weird angle, and I couldn't figure out why, but I think this is why. So I'm gonna try, and apparently I can't do it at even though I pause it. Yeah, so I think that's why initially I had the camera rotated at a weird angle, or like I think it was like negative something, and so it was pointing the right way, which was a little odd, but go figure. You know, once you resurrect old code, you might run into this kind of stuff. But yeah, you know, with the little hiccups, I hope you got an idea of how I've set up the beginning of the game. Basically, right, is the persistent map where everything lives, loads the main menu level, which contains, you know, once I load the main menu level, I create that widget, and the widget, you can click on the button to actually go into, you know, campaign, whatever, and from there, what that does, you know, it has this interface call, which in turn loads the load bar level, and the load bar level does all the heavy lifting, where it was you know, loading all the levels and so on and so forth. So hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so with that said, let me go back into my persistent map and set this back to that it's in dev mode. I also wanted to show a little bit of the updates that I've made to the wrist device, so that way it's I hope I'm having it, I'm still having the player in the right spot. Do I? What's happening here? Oh, I forgot to initialize it. So I've made it a little simpler to because previously I had some issues with come on, what am I loading here? I had some issues with pointing to where you need to go. So right now I have that little compass working on the bottom. Let me actually make this full screen. So I have this little compass on the bottom with the arrow pointing where to go. Having that spinning arrow, yeah, no, it's running pretty slowly. I have a ton of tabs open, so that's why um, it's probably a pretty low frame rate at the moment. Yeah, so previously I had this little spinning arrow that was going around, and the issue with that was when I was looking up or down, it started pointing a different way. I'm not sure. It was something related to the rotation. Once you get the kind of the the point at rotation or the lookout rotation, and translating that into a 2D widget, it was getting a little funky. So what I ended up doing is I reused, and this is how it looks if you kind of move around. See, as you can see, that stays on the edge of the screen, and then once you move towards it, it looks a little bit better. And the other thing that I've added is this up arrow. So that signals that your objective is above you. If it's below you, there's going to be an arrow pointing down, basically. So that gives you a little bit of help. And with that, I have what do you call it? A UI free design, so to speak. The other thing that I'm gonna add is right below this. I'm still deciding on to put it below. Is gonna be a 1 through 4, 1 through 5 for all your weapons, basically. So that way, initially I had something like this, with the quick item select, which it's intrusive, right? So I'm just gonna, if the player forgets which one's which, they can pull up the wrist device, and get an info of 1 is the bow, 2 is the rifle if you have it, and it's also going to show if you have it or not, right? So if it's going to be like either like highlighted in some fashion or not, right? So that's the Gitish. That's exactly what I was what I was saying. So you're saying that maybe it was because you were setting the relative world transform without splitting it up into its components. Exactly my thought, but that wasn't really doing it. So unfortunately, it wasn't, and I just left it. I was like, okay, you know what, whatever. I also feel like having the compass works a little bit better than that arrow just kind of moving around. It's also a little bit more stable depending on your rotation. So it's and yeah, once you start moving towards the objective, you can see like 346. But right now, this is not referencing a point in the world, because it's a poor Rocco does not exist in the world here, and yeah. Hey Blue Ego, welcome to the stream. So Gitish, would you be doing the animation stuff of the weapons all by yourself? I will not. Unfortunately, I am not very good at animating. I'm only good at animating and doing stuff within the engine, like basically stuff like this, which is, um, it works, but it's not pretty by any means. So yeah, I'm not gonna be doing any animations. The bow itself, the bow is somewhat procedural. Like I'm not sure. I think I've shown the bow before. So and yeah, I'm guessing I need to import I need to set the font for that count to be like that as it properly is. The other thing that I need to do is, because you can see the wrist device kind of floats a little bit, so I need to set it so that it's probably through Blender to kind of have it wrap around the wrist. So well, it does. It is the ALS bow, and since the functionality was there, I was like, why not? I think the only I can't remember. It also had the pullback, right? But yeah, the functionality is there, so I was okay. I'm gonna use it, and now it's shooting arrows and killing enemies, which is its purpose and intent. Um, yeah, the only thing the thing that it didn't have is arrows, or shooting or anything. So it did have this one when you pull it back, and it didn't have the I think it might have had the release as well. So because in this case, if I don't shoot, I can also release it. So right now it's right click, you aim, and then shooting is with the left mouse button. So yeah, that's that. um, let's see. A few other updates was okay, so I've shown you the kind of the canyon that you're gonna fly in through. So basically, this one, now it's probably not gonna be, hey Peanut, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. So this is probably not anywhere final, but we can try and at least set up a little bit more of um, the spline that for the plane flight area. And I'm hoping I'm not gonna fly into the water. Hey Omokal, welcome. How's it going? Welcome guys, welcome everybody. And maybe, just to give a little bit of more drama, fly in a little bit low. So I was mentioning earlier when I started, there's going to be like 3 points in the world as the plane flies that the player is going to be able to jump out of the plane. So what that's going to do? Oh, there's multiple blue egos. Welcome. Yeah. So what's going to happen is whenever the plane gets to the area that you get the option to jump out of the plane, there's going to be like kind of a slowdown in the game. Oh, Leo, hey, now it's Blue Ego, welcome. So Omokal, I did not. I am definitely using a lot of marketplace assets, because as a sole developer you would not be able to do all of that by yourself with a full-time job and some other things called adulting going on, like the world. But yeah, a lot of it is modified by myself. In some of the following streams, I'm gonna be working on, and just to mention, it's not a city; it's like a little town, village type of setup, where some of the workers from the water facility, plant, and the mine are working at. So just to mention it, it's not a full city. That's going to be part two. And in my plans, this is going to be a part one. Of course, it's going to have you know a conclusion, right? But there's also going to be, I was thinking also for a part two, and that one's going to be more of a city-based type of game. So yeah. So as I was saying, there's going to be three areas in the world where you're going to be able to bail, jump out of the airplane. And so what would happen will be like you'll be given the option to jump, right? So you can jump at the first one, at the second, at the third one. If you don't choose any of these, the plane will crash and you'll die. And then the sequence will start over again. So you'll need to choose one of the jump locations. So now I'm trying to just kind of prototype the area, a couple of the places where you might be able to, or like the little, the flight of the airplane, and we'll see how it looks. Also trying to see how realistic it flies, right? I mean, because you don't want it to fly like a helicopter, or like not necessarily like a helicopter, but I want it to bank or roll like this once it gets into a specific location. So let's take a look at oh, it's already far. So I'm gonna play the sequence here, and at least we can watch it on the camera. And this is basically what the player will see once they're in the plane, and hopefully I'll have that to show next week. So that's definitely a great thought. But I've just recently added the player to it, so I don't see how that might be happening. That's the thing about it. Hey, Blue Ego, and thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate your words. The thing is, I think anybody can. Like, I am decent. I wouldn't say good. I am, uh, I wish I could do this, full time, so I might get better. But it's um, um, it's just practice. In the end, that's all there is to it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! He went through the trees. Oh, ah. Yeah. So see, this kind of flight pattern is not perfect, because it just like it's kind of like whoop whoop. Yeah, it needs to tilt a little bit. Like once it starts going like towards here, it needs to that node needs to tilt a little bit. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. um, so the thing about it is, um, the Blue Ego. The thing about it is, uh, you can like I'm feeling the same way sometimes. That it would take forever to make it, but every week I get one step closer, and in the end it's just being patient. So if you're patient with something that you really really love doing, I you know you'll get through it, and you'll get it done. Of course, you have to be realistic about certain things, as I am. I know that I need to use a lot of um, pre-made assets, and I'm totally comfortable with that. um, so but in the end, it's a labor of love. There it goes. So Gitish, oh, by the way, have you ever tried for Google Summer of Code? I know, just out of the box question, but no, I have not, because I just didn't have the time. And I'm actually I can code. It's one of those things, like a friend of mine was saying. I know enough to be dangerous. But I um I know my way around things, but I don't think I'd be good enough for Google, right? So Blue Eagle, yeah, it's for me, this has been a game that I've been working on for a while as well. So it's just a matter of you know uh, keep at it. That's what I say. And the main thing about it is I always sometimes feel discouraged when I see the stuff some other people do, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have done it like that. But in the end, it's just um, I don't expect to be able to quit my day job out of it'd be great to quit my day job after from the sales of this game, but you never know. You never know. So I think the main thing is to just keep with it. Just keep working on it, and you'll see improvement because that's how I started. Like I didn't know much about this stuff, but I just kept going. So the the thing that I like about, and I've mentioned this many times, the thing I like about game development is um, there's so many disciplines, there's so many aspects to it. So if one day I get bored with level design, I'm gonna do some visual scripting slash coding. Same principles apply, it's just visual. But the next day maybe I'll work on some of the dialogues, and um, you know that's the beauty of it. There's so many things to do, and I get it. There's people that work in the game industry and they're kind of locked into one position, like texture artist or level designer, then don't do anything else, and it might get exhausting after a while. I can see that happening, but to me that's one of the things that I like about being a solo dev. I get to touch on everything that this game is about, so I kind of like that. Oh, Gitish, yeah, sorry to hear. But in all honesty, I did have this project of mine running on an Intel 4600. So uh, most definitely. So Blue Eagle, yeah, 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 definitely. I would love to see what you did. Oh, whoops! I did not want to do that. That was like one of the corners of this. So I need to place another point here. Alright, so that could be one of the, like right around here could be one of the jump points. But I just wanted to have I wanted to have the spline in place so that I can move some of the points around if I'm not happy with where you where you land. But I also need to look at it from like the story perspective of, well, if you land near the water facility, how are you gonna approach it to get to where to contact the NPCs, kind of the friendly uh, characters in the game that are gonna give you the missions going forward. Why do I keep on just extending out? So I need to go like that. so once you come around here, go like that. I think now this one can be set to be level a little bit. Oh yeah, no, definitely. That actually is a really good idea, Gitish. That's awesome. Um, the only thing is, aside from Blue Ego, I don't think I've had anybody else. And actually, Blue Ego, I need to ask you: are you one of the subscribers, or you just found the video by? If let me see. Oh, if it's Blue Leo, then yeah, I think you're one of the subscribers, right? So yeah, that'd be a cool idea. Like just to see to see what some of the subscribers, and not necessarily subscribers, but because I've thought about playing some of the awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm happy you are, Blue Eagle. So I'm happy to play to play some of the games during streams. Oh yeah, um oh, that'd be something fun to do. Like I could do, because I usually stream on the weekends, so um, I could definitely try and be, because I'm pretty consistent when it comes to Sundays. Like streaming on Sundays, and I could definitely try and oh, thank you, Blue Eagle. So I can definitely try and do maybe a stream on a Saturday as well. And if there's any suggestions from folks joining, it's like, hey, this is my game. Let's play it. I'm a tiny channel, so it's just gonna be one of those things of, oh, hey, this is pretty cool, but playing it to 10 people. But I would definitely love to try it. So Blue Eagle, please post it here, or because it's gonna be saved. And I'm not sure if you have my Discord. Let me also post my Discord in Slack here for the server, because that could be. I don't have a lot of, actually I don't have no activity on Discord, so it's if people want to post stuff there, there's a few other folks that are might be interested, maybe. So let me see server settings. I keep messing up where I can share my is it invite people? Yeah, I think it might be invite people. So let me do a quick um, well, yeah, but it's also sometimes it's you know with a lot of from what I can tell, with a lot of channels on YouTube, um, it's more important on how many people are active, right? Because there can be people that have millions of subscribers, and when they do a stream, if you look at the it's still like 1 to 1,000 people that are gonna join, or probably even less. So it's kind of similar. Actually, I guess I'm doing a pretty good percentage right now. It's 1 to 200 of subscribers that are on the stream. One out of 200. So I'm thinking of these subscribers that have maybe 5 or 6 million subscribers, and they do a stream and they have a few thousands. You know, which is it's a good ratio, but um, if you stream somebody's game, it's good to have a lot of people on just to see it. So, all right, let's see. How far are we along with the plane? It's going. It's going. It's kind of moving somewhat realistically. I'm assuming now it could do a bend because it's oops, come on. So it's here. So it could turn this way. Let's see. So it's going, it's going, it's going. Okay, I can kind of see it going like this, and then maybe another crash site here. And then probably the last one is going to be somewhere close um, to where the gas station is, so maybe kind of around the lake here. Let's see. Yeah, because it might be pretty dramatic to kind of have it go like this and somewhere around there. Let's see how that plays out. So this one's banking to the side, and oops, it should be going the other way actually. And I managed to find actually on Mixamo this one animation of jumping out of an airplane. So that's why I would like to have the character itself be in the plane. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to figure that out before the next stream, just to show how that was done. Alright, so let's see. So now it's kind of okay. It's banking. Alright, it could be a little bit more here, maybe by 15 degrees. So it's going to the side. I think it could have started turning at this point here. And yeah, you're definitely true. You're definitely right, Gatish. It's about the community. Um, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's very tough to gauge it. But you know, I used to stream like when I first started streaming. I was doing it on Twitch, but I can't say that I really like how Twitch is going nowadays. So I'm really happy that I continue to stream because I have a lot more subscribers here. So it's hopefully reaching out more people. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at where Twitch is going nowadays. I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest with you. It used to be more about gaming and stuff like that. Now it's more about like social politics and you know, forgive me for saying it, but softcore porn. um, so yeah, it's definitely not as it used to be. Like I remember it being more and more heavily, kind of um, gaming inspired type stuff. It seems like nowadays not so much. Maybe it's just me, but that's kind of how I feel about it. All right, so let's see this one. At this point, the plane should start. It's going there. So I think here on this one should be like a little bit more like so. Yeah, like that. And here, I think it should start turning a little more. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's pretty dramatic. I kind of like that. You can look to the side, see the lake. So this is probably going to be a splash in the water. Maybe? That could be done. That could be interesting. Let's try that. So, because that could also introduce the swimming. So, just to start swimming. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty nice there. Let me make it a little wider. It's turning a little too quick, so let's move this here a little more. So this could be your last option to jump, and then out here might be like a rock or something, like a cliff, because I need to limit the area somehow. So you move it more to the side, and this one too. Alright, let's try that. Alright, so at this point, probably the smoke kind of, there's also a particle system that's attached with the plane. So once once you start running and the smoke starts coming out, then you're gonna start getting the options of where to jump, and the smoke is gonna get thicker and thicker by the with each of these like collision boxes they're gonna enter. So you're gonna enter along the how this is gonna work is along the path. There's gonna be a couple of boxes that will basically slow game time and give you the option to jump. So you'll have maybe 1, 2, or 3 seconds. I'll kind of play around with it to see what works best, where you can jump. And then if the plane exits that box, then it resumes the game run speed, or I think it's game time. I can't remember. There's like a specific note for that, and you fly to the next one. So the particle effect for the smoke is gonna get thicker, and then you enter the next one again. It slows down. Hopefully, if you didn't exit, then you're gonna get a chance to exit again, and then on to the next one. And if you didn't do the exit on the third one, then that's done. Or you start again. So good luck. Right. Alright, so let's play this out real quick and see how the entire sequence looks. I also want to play it at different times of day to see. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger, but since it's not a camera placed in the level, oops, it's going a little fast. I might need to extend it out a little bit to add some extra frames to it. One thing that I wanted to fix, I'm gonna need to fix the beginning a little bit, but here it needs to tilt to the side a little bit. Let's see where it's at. So I'm gonna make this a little wider, like so, and this one, I'm trying to spin it this way a little bit and see how that looks. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't too much of a change, so it comes around this area here just fine. Oh, I don't think I got the right one. It should have been this one. And down here should go like this. Let's try 45. So it goes, let's see, Banks, I think it came back a little more. Let's see, hopefully I'm going the right way with this. Oh yeah, I think I went a little too far that time. And over here, it seems like it's kind of like strafing. try and spin it a little bit. Yeah, there it goes. That's a little bit better. And then it turns the other way. Over here it shouldn't be too straight, just like that. Let's see, so it's going over at this point. It could be a little bit more. Let's see that. Okay, because it's coming around a bend. Over here it could be a little bit more of a dramatic twist. Let me move this camera a little faster. So let's turn this a little bit more like that. This one too. Alright, let's see. That's a little bit better, I think. Only here at the top, that point needs to be a little straight. Kind of like that. That's a little bit better. I definitely love these curves, these splines. They're so useful. Oh, and remember to save. All right, so definitely there's something going on. It looks pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. So now we can at least play it, and what I'm gonna try and do is see if I can extend this sequence to be a little bit longer. Alright, so let's try and play this. Alright, so there it goes. There's a little bit of a hiccup there, but I'll fix that. This looks pretty good around there. That's a kind of a... that's too wild. Maybe I need to tone it down a little bit. Whoa, that's kind of odd. Alright, so it's turning. This one's doing pretty well. That little point, this one's going pretty smooth. Okay, so overall, kind of a decent first draft. Definitely not yet perfect, but it's getting there. Alright, so another thing that I wanted to do in this stream is finish off a little bit of this kind of the river section here. So what I've done, again, this is a spline, and I wanted to, since it's pretty simple, and I'm painting the foam. It's just vertex paint, so I'm gonna play around a little bit with that. It's not very visible, but I like to have it. So you know, probably not very visible from the plane. I'm also gonna slow down the this. Make the sequence longer because it was a little short. So Heaven Disciples, I am not using world partition. I have not dug into that too much. I think since my world is not that big either, I think that's for like once you get into those gigantic, what is it, 16 by 16 kilometers, 64 by 64 kilometers, that kind of sizing. Um, for me, yeah, I haven't really looked into it, so I I know, you know, very vaguely about it, but yeah, very little, very little do I know. So I can't say. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, so there's a little bit of foam painted around. The other thing that I wanted to do and just kind of show it a little bit is kind of having some of these um, um, a way to also limit the player and kind of direct it. It's, 'cause it's an open world, but at the same time you want to not have them roam everywhere, so to speak. So I wanted to play a little bit with something that I've tried last night was um, seeing which one of the current meshes that I have would work with having like these cliffs around the level, because again, I'm gonna have to limit the player to the edges of the map, of course giving the impression that you can go past that via um, um, via the lake, and that's why I have the lake. So there's like a an option to go away from the area via the lake or via the water and the tunnels. So that could be the um, so it doesn't look like you're in just a completely closed in arena. The one game that I just played recently and also does that is Days Gone. So if you haven't played Days Gone, I was holding myself. I wasn't really. Oh, I don't think I want to play this, but I played it a few weeks ago and I just loved it. Like I did a completed the entire game, like side missions, everything. So their world is surrounded by kind of cliffs like this, or cliff faces, and they do have these openings to transition from one section of the world to another via tunnels, and I think they worked it out pretty good. So that was my plan from the get-go as well, and um, that the water looks wavy, unlike your hair. Exactly, the water does look wavy. And unfortunately, I think there's also a delay. I've tried to set it as a late as with a low latency, so uh, right now I'm pretty far ahead of what you were seeing or what I'm seeing in the stream. And yeah, I wish there wasn't such a big delay with Google as well, or with yeah, with YouTube. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, So basically, this is exactly how it is. Um, if you were to look at it from up top, yeah, from maybe from some of the other locations, from around here, for example. Yeah, and I think with most open worlds, there's got to be a way to kind of limit where the player can go. I am also thinking of maybe, especially here where the lake is. I'm probably just gonna leave it as is, but I'm just gonna expand this water to go out further, you know, further to here. Right now it's just this massive plain that it's just here. So I could potentially just I can fix this real quick. So that way it's not everything is completely encased, um, and you do have a sense of, well, I can live this way or this way. So the height map is actually from this package that the trees are from, which is the Nordic conifer biome. So that was a great starting point for me, and just because I really like the relief, like I think it's called like um, kind of the GIS data, like the height, the height map, you can say that, and how the layout was, and what I did do is, for the other levels that I have, I just started sculpting it and placed those around. So no, I'm not using the only spline that I'm using is for the um, and actually I think I just moved them out of the map level. The only splines I am using are for that river. Gitesh, hopefully that answers your question. Hey, Blue Eagle. Yeah, I mean, if you added me on Discord, we can definitely chat about it. I can give you some suggestions or kind of my thoughts on it. Totally. Oh, no worries, no worries. There's multiple people from multiple with multiple first languages. Uh, English is not my first language either, so it's totally fine. Okay. Well, so back to this area. Um, Heaven's Disciples. I have not tried the UE5 water. I think I tried it around a couple of times, but it just didn't. To me, since I'm not doing any kind of like a water type of focus around my game, um, I'm like, that's cool, kind of thing. So yeah. Have you tried it? Um, now that you brought it up, have you tried it? I'm actually curious if people have tried that. It seemed cool, um, but like I said, I didn't find a use for it. Game Maker, no, I have not. I think I've heard about it, but don't quote me on it. Yeah, so the rock assets are from Quicksouls. From Quicksoul, I just retextured them so they all use the same kind of consistent detail, not detail, but base color map. And I'm only using like the detail, the normal as a detail map for that. I have turned on nanite for them, but they're not nanite assets. I mean, like for example, this one, it has that many triangles, so I'm relying on LODs. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if I guess that's an interesting thing for planets. Um, if you, yeah, that's an interesting topic, huh? I wasn't even sure that you can do that for with it. That's an interesting question. Question. I'm kind of curious about that myself as well. Oh, Pligo, yeah. I wish so too. I am really passionate about it. So hopefully there'll be other people that like it. Oh, the Voxel plugin as well. I've seen some of the things that are done with that, and they're pretty amazing, I have to say. It kind of goes over my head, but oh, okay, Voxel, that unreleased one. That's actually kind of interesting. How you guys are using the voxel for for a Minecraft type thing. So Blue Eagle, I am not. This is my main focus. Oh, thank you so much, Heavens. We'll definitely check it out. And looking forward, Blue Ego. I'll I'll definitely check out the game, and like I said, maybe during next week's stream, um, we can get it and check it out. Voice chat. I was kind of thinking it's already there when you create a server, but um, usually when folks had questions, I just add them as friends and we just chat the regular way. So there we go. Now you have me as a friend. Sweet. All right. So let's see. This kind of as a little area has one thing that I've I've learned is to have a kind of a good transition. At least probably there's better ways to do it, but have a big asset, have a medium asset, and have kind of a smaller asset like this, and also kind of these little things on the ground here. That gives a pretty, to me at least, that gives a pretty good transition. Big, medium, smallish, smaller. Um, so, but yeah, I'll note that and so a voice channel. Oh, sweet. Yeah, well, I'll have you as a friend, so if I get stuck, I'll definitely reach out and ask you. All right, let's throw the player in there. I wanted to see how it looks in relation to you, size-wise. So let me take a look at player start. Where is this one? It's over here in the forest. Then this one is over here. Actually, yes, this one, I can use this one. And let's see, persistent map, gas station. Oh, let's see which one is this one. What tag does it have? Well, so I was thinking about that, but there's only so many people on the channel, so I've been kind of doing the admin stuff for that anyways. I think once it gets into like 100 people or something like that, active and not just offline, because a lot of people join a Discord server and they're not active. So I think at that point I can definitely look into having that. Okay, so that looks pretty decent size-wise, and even the texture scale looks pretty good. There's no one of the things that I'm always worried when I scale these things up is kind of the texel density. Yeah, once you get up close to these bigger rocks, they do get a little bit noticeable, so I might have these tile a little more. aside from that, I guess the collisions are pretty good on these, so that looks good. Size scale wise, they also look pretty good. Pretty happy with that. You know, having some grass at the bottom also helps with the transition. Hey, Severin Slovic, what's going on? Yeah, well, I've been away for a month or two as well, so welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, it's towards the end of it, but I'm happy to have you. Um, yeah, I was gonna try and keep these streams at I'm trying to keep these streams at around a couple of hours. You know, I don't want to. It's closing in. There's about 10 minutes left. But yeah, usually, like I said, I stream on Sundays right around noontime. Usually around 11. If it works, if it works best, and people are interested, I can. I can set up like a kind of a hard time where I start streaming. You know, like okay, call it noon, you know, or call it 10. Yeah, you know what? I definitely like this one. You know, and this is actually coming from. I did post a video in a section of the bunker, and somebody noticed that. Um, hey, you know what? It's it's uh it's a pity for the game that you have you know, you have the UI. And I'm like, you know what, I think is right. How can I make it so that I can get rid of the UI and also provide useful information, right? Because you need to know where you're heading. Like I was looking recently at Scorn. Not sure if anybody played Scorn. I haven't. Um, but that one has no UI besides kind of the dots showing up when you aim, I believe, and when you need to interact with something. But I think that's kind of a, and I get it, you know, the entire type of game, you know, you're not gonna have a UI for that little made out of flesh type of thing. So for me, you know, I wanted to have something like this where you can, you know, direct the player to somewhere and this act as a GPS, right? So the walkie-talkie that I had before, you know, wasn't really working out. I don't think it was. It wouldn't. The screen was too small and it wasn't able to convey too much information. And the other problem was, if you had a weapon equipped, you couldn't do this, right? So that was the main thing about it. I guess the movement is so slow. I need to figure why that is. So yeah, you can have a weapon equipped and also check the stuff at the same time. So Gitish, in Greenwich time, let's see. So if it's 12 here, that would be 5 p.m. Greenwich. Um, well, so yeah, but I wanted to equip it when you have a weapon when you have a weapon equipped. Yeah, sorry, I think you were talking about how slow it goes. Yeah, I was trying to make some changes so it's not like when you start. Yeah, I know there's errors. So let me go over here. So it doesn't bring it up this fast, right? It's not like, I mean, I think it's a little too fast. But whatever change I made apparently made it slow when you have a weapon equipped. So I need to fix that, which is probably a simple fix. But yeah. Um, so yeah, there we have it. Let's see, how does it look? Oops, I kind of messed it up. Let's see, how does this look at a different time of day? Sunset. Okay, sunset still seems to be looking okay-ish. Let's see at night. Okay, looks okay at night as well. Let me see, what are you guys seeing? Oh no, that was I had a way so that at runtime you can actually change the time of day, but it wasn't working uh, as um, as expected, so to speak. And it's one of those things that I might or might not use, a different time of day. So. Um, so Severin, yeah, it is definitely a demanding project. There's a lot of things that I have that I want to have for this, and I'm patient with it. I don't have a I do want to I do want to put out a demo, at least with a mission or two, kind of simple, just for people to play it for a little bit. Um, and So I hope to get that out within the next 2 or 3 months is my hope. Hopefully um, everything goes okay from the life standpoint of things. And if that's the case, then yeah, I think I'm pretty close to having something within that time frame that people can play. Yeah, and performance seems to be pretty decent even with Lumen. But yeah, that's why I want to, and I hope some people to test it out with kind of varied computers. Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely the case. But so far, ever since I've started this project, I haven't really changed anything to it. And believe you, I appreciate that. Would love to have people try it out, and if you could, that'd be awesome. Um, so yeah, as far as the project itself, the scenario and the idea behind it hasn't changed, and um, what has changed recently have has been and did set me back a little bit. Moving from ALS v3 to ALS v4, that has been a little bit of a time sink. And around this again is the fact that um, there's kind of real world happening. If you could focus on something full time, it'd be different than when you focus in on it at night after work. You're already tired. You're not firing on all cylinders, so to speak. So um, yeah, and in the end, it's a project of passion, of love, and I hope it's gonna turn into something good. Oh, Severin, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, um, I'm happy I did. I'm happy I did. It's like I said, of course, I have to. I'm not gonna make the next battle royale kind of game, and even as is, my project is pretty ambitious. I would think for one person, a solo developer, but um, it's also a passion, right? And it's I want to see it through, to be honest with you. So Gitish, I work as a software engineer, and I do a hodgepodge of things, to be honest with you. Some Java programming, some admin stuff. So so yeah, it's a variety of I don't do only software engineering from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Oh heavens, yeah, that's awesome. And I was thinking of doing that, but um, I kind of like having the more control that 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 gives me with a specific time of day, so to speak. And that's what kind of kept me at, I'm gonna have maybe uh, definitely for the first release is just gonna be one time of day. I was thinking because initially I also wanted to have a locations where the player can sleep and advanced time. So advanced time tonight, and at nighttime things would change. But that is also another idea that you kind of have to put on the back burner because, well, it's too time consuming to get it in. So at least for the first release part of it is just going to be one time of day. Um, so I'm not sure about. Hey heavens, yeah, yeah, awesome. Good to have another Java fellow. So Severin, I'm not sure how Poland is, but I think a lot of Eastern Europe, because I'm Romanian myself, and I know there's a lot of IT jobs in Romania. So I think getting a job is not gonna be that difficult. It depends on what. Like I was lucky enough to do to like Java in school and get a job, programming Java. Even though it didn't really start with Java, I started with JavaScript and some web programming related tasks, and then I transitioned into actually doing more Java work at my job. But I don't think it's going to be hard to get a job in IT, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's a matter of what field you want to get it in. And and one thing that I've actually learned, and maybe this could be helpful to someone, from my interview to get this job, was that uh, from what my supervisor was telling me, over half or probably half of the people that were he was because first it starts with a phone interview, then you do an interview in person, more like a technical interview, and then an interview with the entire team, at least in my case. So the first phone interview, half of the people, or around half of the people, did not know the job description. So he was asking them things about that were on the list. Okay, what's a REST API? Uh, what's there were a few other items on there, um, and even though I've never used it. I did look it up, and I had a little list of, okay, REST is representational state transfer, whatever, something like that. I can't remember exactly what those acronyms stand for, but I had everything written down, and he's like, you know what? Half of the people, the geek shall inherit the world. That's very true. That's I mean, look at the richest people in the world at the moment, that are self-made. That did not inherit some kind of riches from some kind of a king or what have you, or oil magnate and stuff like that. And but that aside, um, and then on my technical interview, I actually provided a solution for us, something simple. It wasn't anything complicated, but something that I did in school for, like, it was through HTML. It's like, why don't you use this? And he was impressed by that. So being able to provide it, if they present you with a problem, representational state transfer. Yeah, thank you, Gitish. That's what I was thinking of. So first of all, if you do a test, if you're gonna do, Severin, if you're gonna do a phone interview, make sure that everything that's on that list, even if you've never touched it, you know what it is. Because if he's gonna ask you what is this, and you say no, I don't know, that's what a lot of people, like I was saying, said. You're not gonna pass the phone interview. There's like a lot of people applying for jobs, right? So knowing everything that's on the list, that's amazingly helpful to get past the first interview. And depending on jobs, there's a lot, like I think Amazon is more kind of is not as formal. I guess this is kind of a formal um, type of job interview that I went through. You know, you do get the online test, right? Um, so, but then again, it depends from job to job. But I don't think you should have trouble, you know, finding a job in IT. It's a very uh, wide subject, and it um, depending on what you're looking for, it can vary greatly. You know, your mileage might vary, so to speak. So, uh, well, Gitesh, that's a great question. I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah, Severin. Hopefully, and like I said, you know, I did post a link to my Discord, and you can find me on there. If you have any other questions, be happy to help. But yeah, Gitish, getting a decent paying job as a game dev, I don't know. That's a good one. I wish because I know some people that are in the game industry, and um, the main thing that people look at is, um, have you worked on a title that has been released, right? Have you worked on The Last of Us, right? Or have you worked on this and that? You know, they want to see some kind of something like that, and that's very tough to have. Uh, and I've had a friend that started this, and they started as a in QA. I mean, a lot of people start in QA, and then you know, you try to move into like programming and, you know, game art and that kind of stuff. If you don't have, like I said, if you don't have a previous background, right? It's probably a little bit easier to get into QA, which is paid a lot less, and then hopefully move on from there. Yeah, Rockstar Games. Are you listening? Yeah. Well, so I think that's gonna be it for me for today, everybody. I really appreciate you stopping by, and we did have quite a bit of fun, and quite a bit of work was done during the stream, which I'm happy with. And you know, I definitely enjoy streaming and showing some of that off. Yeah, Catch 22 exactly. Yeah, and thank you so much again for stopping by. And Blue Ego, definitely Blue Leo, definitely hit me up on and message me, and we can have a quick chat. Thank you, Gitish. That was a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys next week, and maybe I'll do a stream of the game on of Blue Leos slash Blue Ego stream on Saturday. Heavens, yeah, definitely. We want an entry level developer with 20 years of experience. That's how they go by nowadays, you know. So, yeah. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a great week coming up. And I'll see you on the next one. Oh, no worries. Okay is good to have in caps. All right. Take care, everybody.